the hell do you have on?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Connoisseurs conversation. Tonight, I should say, it's another night. We're going to explore a fragrance that's born of luxury and exclusivity. We're going to talk about a fragrance from the brand of Roja Parfums. Now, I have a sample here. You know how I'm starting to pick up these sample videos. I want to give these out to you as far as this goes with Connoisseurs conversations. This is the Neiman Marcus edition. I had a very large decant given to me by Neiman Marcus, and I enjoyed this fragrance, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I get from it, and it may not be what you were expecting from me and talking about Roja Parfums. Beautiful, yes, but distinctive, yeah, that's where we're going to have a debate that starts to begin about this particular fragrance and the house of Roja Parfums. So if this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Everyone, welcome back to the Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuance of scent, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's wonderful experience. We're going to get right into discussing what the fragrance is that embodies, it embodies polish and it embodies this pedigree, but it leans too heavily on similar ground to me. Roja Parfums Neiman Marcus. I want to get right into this. I'm going to talk about the composition, the actual performance, the wearability, the presentation, the demographic that this one portrays to want to work towards. I'm going to give this a 73 out of 100. Tell you up front like I always do. So after wearing this fragrance frequently, I have to say this. It's a very pleasant, luxurious, and very Roja fragrance, but perhaps too Roja. For me, it's one that opens with a burst of black currant, which is a saving grace to me in the entire fragrance. Its brightness and juicy, this juicy sparkle that comes off in the fragrance that adds a little bit of life and freshness to a fragrance. The most distinctive moment in the entire composition to me is that, for me at least, as far as it goes to the masculinity. But after that, the first act, it quickly returns to a familiar territory that I'm not comfortable with them doing. The brand's signature saffron and honey notes that come across in fragrances, amber accords, they are seductive in this one. And there are some that we've seen executed very well, but we saw it executed just well in Sweetie Aoud, which many of us own. Many of us think of as a great fragrance, but many of us own already. And it's almost like a redundancy to me that's too quickly done. The heart of this one introduces an osmanthus note, along with jasmine and honey. And with that, it softens the blend to a more feminine side, but don't really move it anywhere. It doesn't really take it to a more raw edge. It doesn't really take it to a more pleasant edge. It takes it to where something, like I said, it smells good, smells luxurious, but it smells commonplace in Roja's catalog. Which you then go into the base of this one. It brings up a suede note and an amber note with a vanilla wood. The vanilla wood is the second time in the last few weeks that I've heard and seen a fragrance speak on this note. So I think that this note is going to be one of those going forward that is given to perfumers to use and make accords that are perfectly blended using some type of either dough feel, bakery feel, velvety wood feel, along with the vanilla-esque in that woody tonality. So something that's like an ambroxan style amber wood, but this is vanilla wood. Creating something, it's smooth. To me, it's rounded, and it's a comfort zone that Roja loves to stay in right now. And I'm not, technically beautiful. Yes, it is, but absolutely, it's too artistically safe to keep bringing notes like this and scents like this out from Roja Parfums. So without the lift of the black currant note, this would feel like a polished refresh through and through. The composition that I'm seeing is well made, but it's a memorable fragrance, and it's unmemorable enough to stand apart from the rest of those. You know what I mean? It's one of those scent profiles that you're like, damn, how many times they gonna do it? And so that's why I give this a 39 out of 50 when it comes to a luxurious execution but low innovation. I don't really want to bash the fragrance because I think it smells good. It's just, to me, who has some experience with the brand, and I expect more from a brand like this who has scents that are in this wheelhouse already, to go a little bit deeper into the bag and pull out something different. Now, I don't expect total innovation on all fragrances, because I know a house loves to have their own mix of notes and accords and things like that, which I greatly understand. But to have this one come out as a signature profile for a very exclusive department store and have their signature put on it, you would have thought that they would have gone out and given something new. So what I think this one is not just, I thought it would cater to what it is to have the luxury experience walking into Neiman Marcus, which it does. But it also has almost like you're walking into their cafeteria. You know, that dough feel, that sweetness, that foodie scent that they have. Sometimes you want to go there for tea. That's a great little way to experience Neiman Marcus, and I think they try to execute on a gourmand feel versus what it was and is to have the overall essence of a great Roja Parfum, daring, really driven for innovation and a spectacular feel. So that's what I feel about the actual composition. It's okay. It's nothing new, and it's nothing innovation driven. It's something that I think that even Neiman Marcus may have had a hand in saying, we want something like this. So for that, I give it a 39 out of 50. Next, let's get into the performance on the fragrance. So when it comes to this scent, I'm going to give the Sillage Projection a 15 out of 20. Like its fragrance I'm speaking on, to give it its just due, it has a great performance record. I don't have problems with Roja Parfums and the way that they project and the way they have Sillage. I've always given them a high score because to me, I smell the fragrance hours on end. I smell the fragrance behind me, around me, and others smell these fragrances on me. So 15 out of 20 is a great score to have this particular scent for Projection and Sillage. This one here, they gave me about 5 mil, so I've been able to wear it 4 or 5 times with 4 to 5 sprays each time. I also have at least 1 to 2 wearings left inside of it. So to me, what I've noted is that in the first hour, Neiman Marcus begins to project smoothly and confident off the skin, which is always a great way to have Neiman Marcus fragrance or a Roja Parfum fragrance. Then you get what it is to have that fruity saffron burst come up before it softens into a close, almost intimate trail behind you of about 3 to 4 feet at about the 5-hour mark. So it lasts respectably on skin, even though it turns into a little skin scent around the 5-hour mark, 6-hour mark. It does have a nice little trail behind it, and even better when you spray it on fabric, of course. So I did wear this one wearing suiting one day, and my suit jacket still held the scent profile late into the evening. And so for that, you get something that's not a beast, but it's something that has a good performance and good, not commanding, but a 15 out of 20, that's a good number. And so to me, the way that it wears on skin, the way that it wears on clothes, the way that it evolves and has its protrusion of the black currant coming off in the opening, very inviting, very alluring, but commonplace now. And then that sweet accord, you don't want that something blasting off of you, especially if you're doing a gourmand foodie. You want something a little more closer to the skin, and that's what this provides for you when wearing this one. Now, I think this one is more of a scent that may need 6 sprays, 7 sprays from a Roja Parfums if you want ultimate beast mode, but I don't think that's something that everybody's going to want. I do think this, if you do go with that many sprays, it may be something that may be undesirable, because the sweetness, especially for us gentlemen, might be a little too much. Because even though I'm stating it smells of Sweetie Aoud, which to me is a favorite of Roja, that his sweetness is tonally resinous. This one is more fruity, fresh sweetness that's not tonally resinous. It's more in the line of having that Sweetie Aoud mixed with Aoud Extraordinaire, even mixed with a little bit of, dare I say it, Outlands from Amouage, that super sweet, fruity, airy concoction of a fragrance. So that's what I'm getting from it as far as projection and sillage. What I have next going into this one, I don't have the presentation. Obviously, I have the decant sample. What I saw in the presentation, wonderful. If you are a fan of red bottles, it's a collection piece through and through. The red stones in the cap are stunning. They are very, very ruby-esque in its colorway, and as the light shines in Neiman Marcus, you know that they had the light shining on this bottle, and it was blinging. It looked very, very good. The red they chose is not maroon red; it's more of a blood red, but that Chicago red, and it's a great looking red. It's Neiman Marcus red. It's what it is. The presentation is just textbook Roja. It's weighted glass crystal, it's jeweled cap, and it's flawless finish on everything. The Neiman Marcus exclusive, it tells the story of prestige with that red. It has the Neiman Marcus signature written across the plaque. I'll leave a visual up on the left-hand side of me, or the right-hand side of me, I should say, when doing the video. So for me, it is the brand's comfort zone. It's 9 out of 10. That's where they belong. Sometimes 10 out of 10, depending on the actual packaging, I will give the 10 out of 10 the actual bottles that have the ceramic, plastic enveloping cases. That's just 10 out. That's 11 out of 10 to me. But this one here is a 9 out of 10 as far as presentation goes. So that's all in all a great score for this one. To me, in talking about wearability and seasonality is where I get into this particular fragrance to have a thought of being best for fall and being best for winter. The cooler months, those cooler months that it's being introduced in, is exactly when you want to have this particular fragrance on your skin. It is a sweeter fragrance, and so that's why I think seasonality and wearability come into play for that particular reason. The sweetness and the suede, they shine. The suede is actually a pretty good note in this one. And so for daytime wear, either cooler weather or a little bit warmer weather daytime in the fall, whether you get about the 60 degrees, it feels a bit dense and formal for that, but it can come off very well if you choose to wear it with something suited. It can be an elegant fragrance, but not super versatile. I think that this one is better suited for females. I think this is a fragrance that more women than men will gravitate towards, like some of the newer releases that have been coming out for the brand of Roja Parfums. I think that for me, the score that I'm giving it will be less than most women give this particular scent. I think that this is a catered to scent, which I don't mind. I think having a catered to scent is fine. But I think that they missed the mark when they could have given this a little bit more oomph in some of the, I guess, resinous qualities. They could have made it a little more better. They could have done something to elevate it with even some green galbanum, or adding a little bit of black pepper to it, or adding a little bit of immortelle to it. Something giving it off the beaten path of what you've known Roja for would have been great to add to this particular scent, which would have been great to give that to Neiman Marcus as a true collector piece for that store and that actual identity of it. But they didn't, and so that's where you get from this one. It's well worn in the cool weathers, and I think it's going to be well worn by women. Next, let's talk about the demographic, which I've already hinted to. So when it comes to this one, for the collector, this is a fragrance that kind of offers us familiar comfort through and through. For newcomers, expecting some of the, like a fresh statement, they're going to get that possibly. It might feel too safe for them in a lot of the fragrances because they smell this kind of designer-esque smell, and if not designer-esque, more from this line, from other new-born niche fragrance houses that are coming out with this type of scent profile. So it's less wow and more, okay, that's well done when I think about this particular scent. So I'm going to particularly give that a low score of 2 out of 5 for the demographic, because it's leaning very truly to me sweet, warm, feminine than it should. I think it should lean right down the middle of 2.5 out of the 50-50 split when we talk about unisex fragrances for department stores like this. I don't think that every fragrance should lean that way. I think there should be some 60-40s in the unisex realm. I think that wearing something pleasant with orris and iris on my skin is wonderful to do. I think it gives a bit of a contextualized perfume wear, a variety, and I think that's cool. But this one, when we're talking about having a department store that wants to sell multiple units, this will miss the mark on the way that they can sell and have this go out for men, to me at least. And so a 2 out of 5 is what I give this for the demographic of people who will want to wear this. It's going to be a more youthful female that wants to wear this particular scent. So all in all, thinking about this particular scent profile, I gave this, like I stated up front, a 73 out of 100. I think that it's a fragrance that has done well for its composition, but done uninspired. And that's where I'll leave it. So the composition, once again, was a 39. The Sillage and Projection, I give a 15 out of 20. The presentation, of course, beautiful, 9 out of 10. The wearability is an 8. And the impression that I get from this for the demographic and the impression who wants to wear this is a 2. This brings this, like I said, to a final score of 73 out of 100. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was one that I got, my essay hit me, said they had it in. I wanted to go smell it. I wanted to get samples. I got a few samples of other fragrances. And so for me, this was one that I wanted to just bring out to you guys. So to me, in closing, it is a fragrance that is, I'll give it some polish. It is a refined, classy fragrance that is undeniably sexy. It is sexy, but it's more feminine. It is expensive, undeniably, at $550. But in this realm of niche perfumery, it's becoming more and more the price point for Roja and the price point for many others like Amouage and those brands of the sort that are looking to be billionaire brands. But it's not particularly inspired, so I must go back there. It's a Roja, and it is at his most comfortable where he put this one is. It's something that is comfortable from the new brand, the new way they want to do things. It's just the enemy of excitement for me right now. So as you see it on my face and in this conversation, that's what I'm giving you. Guys, as always, since his memory, collecting his legacy, and community is culture, and we are the culture. Remember, stay bold, stay blessed, stay balanced. Now, see you in the next video. Peace.